Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's What's for Dinner video, I'll be sharing with you what meals we had this past week. With Christmas coming up in a few days, our meals this week were particularly quick and easy to put together. They were also budget friendly and delicious. So if you're looking for some weeknight meal ideas for your family, just keep watching. First up, I'm making chicken and stuffing bake. I believe I've shared this a time or two on my channel, but it's been a while. I wanted to share it again. It is quick and easy to put together. It is budget friendly, and it is so warm and comforting, especially this time of year. Now, I'll have this recipe and all of the recipes from today's video linked in my description box below. I'm going to start out with one of the side dishes because that takes the longest. I got this sweet potato casserole from Aldi. They come out around Thanksgiving time and then they go away. They're one of their seasonal items. I've mentioned these before. Now they are a little pricey, I feel like, for the size, but they are so good. I don't mind it. And they're so rich and sweet. You really don't need a whole lot as far as portion size goes. So I would say one of these would feed probably at least 4 people. So I'm just going to cook this according to the package instructions. Now, I had plans to make just the regular old green bean casserole on the back of the cream and mushroom soup can, but a couple days ago, I'd watched Fallon's channel, Moss Family TV, I'll have it linked down below, and they had made a green bean casserole, and it just looked so good, so I decided to give it a try. You're going to start out by blanching some green beans, so I'm just taking some fresh green beans, placing them into some salted boiling water, and I believe you cook them for about 8 minutes, and then drain them really well and set them to the side. I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees. To my mixing bowl, I'm going to add a can of cream of mushroom soup. I'm then going to add in my milk, black pepper, and I like to add quite a bit of black pepper, but just season to taste. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Next, I'm going to add in some diced pimentos that I drained, as well as some fried onions, and then I'm going to give that a stir. Once it's combined really well, I'm going to add in some bacon that I chopped and cooked along with some chopped onion until the onion was translucent and the bacon was crispy. I'm going to add in those blanched green beans, give that a stir, and then this is going to go into a greased casserole dish. Now, I halved the recipe that Fallon had in her description box, and it made this, I think this is an 8x11 or something like that. So once I've got that spread out, I'm going to add a layer of fried onions, and then this is going to go into the preheated oven and bake for about 20 minutes until the fried onions on top are golden brown and it's bubbly. All right, for the chicken and stuffing bake, I've got this 9x9 casserole dish that I sprayed with some cooking spray, and I did have the recipe. If you're new to my channel, I cook for 2. It's my husband, Gary, and I, and then we have our dog, Happy. So I normally will have recipes. I just try to mention it when I do, so if you follow along with the actual recipe, you're not kind of wondering why mine look different, if that makes sense. So to the greased casserole dish, I've got some chicken tenders. These were in my freezer. I just thawed them, chopped them up, and seasoned them with some salt and pepper, and I'm going to lay them out in the bottom of my casserole dish. Next, I'm going to combine my milk and soup. Now, I'm using a can of cream of chicken with herbs, and I'm going to combine that with the milk. Normally, I just use a can of cream of chicken soup, but I've heard people say that the herbs is really good, and I agree. I could definitely taste a little bit of extra flavor in there, so I recommend you give that a try, and I'll use that going forward. Once I've got that combined, I'm going to pour that over my chicken and kind of spread it around. Next, I'm going to add my stuffing mix. Now, I know the box says Stovetop brand savory herbs. It wasn't. It was actually Great Value chicken that I had put in that same box. I don't know what happened to the original box. But once I've got the stuffing mix spread out, I'm going to add some chicken broth, or in my case, I'm just using some warm water and bouillon powder. I'm going to pour that over the casserole, cover it with foil, and then this is going to go into the oven. Now, the recipe says to cook this at 375 degrees, but my oven was set at 350 for the sweet potatoes and green bean casserole, so I just kept it at that same temperature. You'll bake this for about 40 to 45 minutes or until the chicken is at least 165 degrees internal temperature. Gary asked if we had any cranberry sauce, and we happened to have a can in our pantry, so I just opened it up and sliced it up. And then here are the plates. So we've got some of the chicken and stuffing bake, the sweet potato casserole, the green bean casserole, and then some of the cranberry sauce for Gary. This was a casserole palooza, I called it, or extravaganza, but it was delicious, so comforting. It was like a Thanksgiving meal. I really recommend you all give the green bean casserole and chicken and stuffing bake a try. They were delicious, and next year if you see that sweet potato casserole at Aldi, give it a try. For dinner the next night, I made yet another casserole. I just love casseroles this time of year. But I had some leftover refried beans and taco meat from a couple nights before this. Now, it was last week's What's for Dinner video, but just a couple nights before this. I'd made coleslaw tostadas. And so I wanted to use up the refried beans and taco meat, and I knew this burrito casserole would be the way to go. Now, I've shared this once before. This is definitely a family favorite. I've been making this for like 17 or 18 years. I can't believe I'm that old. But this is really family friendly and it's budget friendly. Your kiddos will love this. So I've got a greased casserole dish. Once again, I'm having the recipe. So I just used 4 crescent rolls. I placed them in the bottom of this greased dish, pinched the seams together. If you can find the crescent roll dough sheet, if you're making a 9x13, that's just easier. You don't have to worry about pinching it. So to the crescent roll dough, I'm going to add the refried beans. I just warmed them up. Once I've spread out the refried beans, I'm going to add on the warmed up taco meat and spread that out. And then I'm going to add some shredded cheddar cheese. That's it. Super, super quick and easy. This is going to go into a preheated oven. I normally cook this either at 375 or 400 degrees. Honestly, it just depends on what I'll remember to do that day. But cook it for about 20 to 25 minutes or so until the crescent rolls are cooked all the way through and your cheese is melted and golden brown on top. Now, to serve this up, we just use our favorite taco toppings. Normally, we'll do some sour cream, diced tomatoes, chopped green onions. My husband likes shredded lettuce on his, and then we'll put like some taco sauce or hot sauce. Just use whatever you and your family like for your tacos. So here's my plate. Gary ate later this night. He was at the gym during dinner time. To go along with it, just did some quick side salads. You could do Spanish rice or broccoli, whatever veggies you like. That was dinner this night. So yummy. For dinner the next night, we did a yo-yo night, or a you're on your own. Some people call this a find what you want or fend for yourself night, and it is just that. Everybody kind of finds whatever they want and is on their own for dinner. So Gary was out running Christmas errands this night. For my dinner, I'd made a cashew chicken pasta salad. I've shared this before on my channel. I think it was on a What's for Lunch video, and I made this week to have for lunches, but I like having pasta salads, as I've mentioned before on my lunch videos. Like having pasta salads on hand for lunches, but also for dinners like this. So again, I'll have that video linked below. It's really easy. You basically just boil up whatever pasta shape you want to use. Drain it really well, rinse it in cold water, and you mix that with some mayonnaise, ranch dressing, some shredded chicken, as well as grapes. You can use cranberries if you want. I leave them out. And then right before serving, you add in some cashews. Now for Gary, he wanted a wrap, so he stopped by the Tropical Smoothie Cafe and got their Thai peanut wrap, and that was our dinner this night. For dinner the next night, I call it grilled chicken. I don't know why I call it that. It's not grilled chicken. I normally bake it or cook it in the air fryer. But I saw this a while ago on Jessica O'Donoghue's channel. I'll try to find one of her videos and link it down below if I can. But it's really, really easy. You don't really need a recipe. You just need some chicken. You can use chicken breasts. You could do chicken tenders, whatever you've got. And then we're going to mix equal parts of honey mustard dressing and Italian dressing. And that's pretty much it. Now, I had some Italian dressing and honey mustard in my fridge that I needed to use up, so this was perfect. I just combined equal parts, and then I had a little bit of the Aldi brand Mrs. Dash, the garlic and herb seasoning, so I went ahead and just used that up and placed the marinade along with the chicken into a Ziploc bag. You can marinate this for as little as a couple hours. I did it overnight. For a side dish, I made my cheesy broccoli rice casserole. I have a dedicated video on this, but it was, I think, one of the first ones I did, so I wanted to share it again. I'm having my usual recipe, so this will do like a 9x9. I've got the oven preheating to 350 degrees. In this bowl here, I've got my butter and chopped onion. Now, you do not have to do this step right here, but I like to do it. It's purely a personal preference. I pop the butter and onion into the microwave for about 4 minutes just to get that onion a little soft. Again, just a personal preference. When I add onions or bell peppers or something like that to a casserole, I like to soften them up a little bit. But again, personal preference. So to the butter and onion, I'm going to add in some instant white rice. Just cook this according to the package instructions. This is a great way to use leftover rice as well. Next, I'm going to add in a can of cream of mushroom soup. Now for the cheese, I'm using a couple of these little Velveeta sauce packets. You could just melt down some Velveeta. You could use Cheese Whiz, whatever your preference is, whatever you've got on hand. Once I've added in the cheese, I'm going to add in my broccoli florets. You'll just pop these in the microwave according to the instructions on your package. You could use fresh broccoli as well that you steam. Great use again for leftover broccoli. I'm going to season this to taste with some salt and pepper. And then I normally don't do this, but I decided to add in some garlic powder today. In my broccoli casserole that I make, I used to make it with, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a little green tube. It was from Kraft, and it was like a garlic flavored cheese. They stopped making it years ago, but when I make my broccoli casserole, I add in a little bit of garlic powder. So I thought, hey, let me try to add in the garlic powder and see how that is. And I liked it. I'll do that again. So once I've got that seasoned to taste, I'm going to stir it up, place it into a greased casserole dish. This is going to bake for about 20 to 30 minutes. Everything's cooked through already. You're just letting everything come together, and once it's golden brown and bubbly, it's done. Now to cook the chicken, you can do it any way you want to. You could bake it, you could cook it on top of the stove, you could grill it, but it was super cold here this day, so I was not fixing to go outside. I decided to do it in the air fryer. I cooked it at 360 degrees for about 7 or 8 minutes, gave it a flip, cooked it another 6 or 7 minutes. How long you cook it really depends on how thick your chicken is. You just want to cook it until it's at least 165 degrees internal temperature, and then let it rest for a couple minutes before you eat it. Here's the chicken when it's done, and one thing that I love about this marinade in particular is that you get these little caramelized bits from the sugar in the marinade, and they're so good. That's my favorite part. I just snack on those. Now, when I make grilled or baked chicken like this, Gary will eat it, and he won't say anything, but I know he really prefers to have it like on a sandwich or in a wrap or something like that. It's just one of his little quirks. We all have them. So I added a slice of pepper jack cheese to one of the chicken breasts, and then I'll make that into a sandwich. Now, from the other night when I made the burrito casserole, I only used half of the can to make the burrito casserole because remember I just did a 9x9. I had some of the crescent rolls remaining, 4 of them, so I just went ahead and baked them according to the package instructions to use that up. Here are the plates. So we've got some of the broccoli rice casserole. I've got a crescent roll and the chicken. And then for Gary's plate, remember I made him the sandwich. So I took the pepper jack covered chicken breast, placed it onto a hamburger bun, added some lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise. And then last night when Gary got his wrap from the Tropical Smoothie Cafe, he got their kale and apple salad. He didn't eat the salad last night, so I just went ahead and served that to him today. He hadn't had lunch, so he was pretty hungry. This was dinner this night. The chicken was so good and so flavorful, and I absolutely love, love, love that broccoli rice casserole. It's so good. I had some Lewis steak rolls as well as cooked bacon that I needed to use up. I decided to do some turkey bacon ranch subs. Here's what I'm going to use. So again, I've got the steak rolls, the pre-cooked bacon, some turkey deli meat, sliced provolone cheese. You can use really whatever kind of cheese you want. All I do is just lay the turkey out on one end of the roll, add the bacon, add the cheese to the other end, pop it into like a 400-degree oven for maybe about 7 to 9 minutes until the bread is a little toasted and the cheese is melted. And then to serve it up, I add some shredded iceberg lettuce, some sliced tomatoes, and ranch dressing. And then to go along with it, I had a little under half a bag of tater tots in my freezer that I wanted to use up. Just cook those in the air fryer, and then these are the plates. Those turkey bacon ranch subs, they're so easy, but I love them. They're delicious. I know I've said a few times that I needed to use something up. I'm trying to work through my freezers and pantry. So in that same spirit, I had just a few of these Tyson chicken strips in this bag that needed to be used up. They had gotten just a little, I want to say frostbit, but I know that's not the right word. They were a little frosty, little icy, but they were still fine. Now, to go along with it, I have some of this O'Charlie's honey mustard, and then this macaroni and cheese. So I think it was Jennifer from the Family Fudge. It's been a while ago, maybe a year or two. She had mentioned that this is their favorite like box macaroni and cheese. Now, I normally love Velveeta shells and cheese. I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed in the past like maybe a year or so, it just doesn't taste the same to me. So I decided to give this a try. Now, for the chicken tenders, I just cooked these in the air fryer, 400 degrees for about 7 or 8 minutes, gave them a flip, cooked them for another 8 or so minutes until they were crispy and warmed all the way through. I cooked that Great Value Deluxe macaroni and cheese just according to the package instructions, and we really like that. I'll definitely buy that again. I think that's my new favorite like box macaroni and cheese other than the Kraft cauliflower. Now, I decided last minute to warm up some peas. Just took a can of peas, drained them, added a tiny pat of butter, some salt and pepper, cooked it on low while the macaroni and cheese was cooking. Here are the plates. Gary decided to dip his chicken tenders in some honey chipotle, Sweet Baby Ray's sauce, and some of the honey mustard sauce, and this was our dinner this night. Super quick and easy to put together. Last but not least, I've had a frozen pizza in the freezer for I don't even know how long that I've really been needing to use. I kept putting it on the meal plan, and then just we would decide we wanted something else for dinner. Now, on this particular day, my husband, he was like, I'm really craving pizza. Can we order a pizza? But the problem was the night before this was the night that that big storm came through. Now, here in the Nashville area, we got ice first and then just a little bit of snow on top of the ice. But so like no one was delivering, and I was like, perfect, I've got to use the frozen pizza now. So it was a perfect excuse to use it up. Here's what I'm going to use. I'm going to doctor the pizza up just a little bit. So I've got this Great Value Rising Crust. This isn't a bad pizza. Now, it's not the best frozen pizza I've ever had. This used to be $2.98. I don't know what it's went up to, but still for the price, it's not a bad pizza. I recommend you give it a try, especially if you're looking for a budget-friendly pizza. But anyway, I'm going to doctor it up like I said. I'm going to add a little bit of pineapple to one side, black olives to one side, and then I'm going to add a little more pepperoni as well as some fresh mozzarella cheese. Just going to bake it according to the package instructions. Now, I've also seen on like different restaurant menus where they drizzle like hot honey on especially a pepperoni pizza, and I've seen Taylor Elmore do it, and she recommends it, and I've tried several of her recipes, and so when I saw her try it, I was like, okay, I need to give this a try. So I'm going to drizzle some of that on the pizza and see what we think. Now, for Gary, I'm just going to do some carrot sticks on the side. For him, I have this little like cranberry walnut salad. I got this at Walmart. I need to use it up, so I'm going to serve that with his pizza. So here are the plates, and that hot honey on the pepperoni pizza was good. Definitely do that again, and I definitely recommend you all give that a try. All right, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you celebrate Christmas, I hope you and your family are having, because this video is actually going up Christmas Day. Hope you all are having a wonderful Christmas, and if you're celebrating Hanukkah, or you are going to be celebrating Kwanzaa or Boxing Day, winter solstice, whatever you're celebrating, I hope you have a safe and happy holiday season. All right, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.